Well, I thought it'd be harder than it really is. It was quite a challenge to get to where I am. I'm no expert at it, but I can say I can climb, a couple routes, like an intermediate route, quite well. But other than that, I mean, I looked with an open mind. Really, it's.
I knew nothing about rock climbing. I didn't know any of the equipment, terms, anything. I thought that we were just gonna climb up the wall, climb down every day. I didn't realize that there were so many different routes and field trips and everything involved.
Tell us about some of the things that you have to do before you climb.
Well, you got to do a lot of safety checks. You got to make sure you're strapped in the harness all nice, and then make sure your the clamps are all sealed shut, so they don't come undone. And make sure you tied all your knots correctly. And it's quite a process before you get on the rock wall. But once you do it a couple of times, you kind of just do it yourself, not even knowing you're really doing it. At first, I thought the figure 8 knot was the most difficult, but really the easiest. It's really just hard to explain on camera, but it's quite an easy one. I found the most difficult one was a water knot. It took me a couple of shots to get it, and you take 2 ropes and you kind of tie them all into one, and they both work together. But it's really easy to get undone. But at first, for me, it was quite a challenge too.
When would you use that?
Well, you have to tie your webbings to a tree. To almost extend them. It's more of if you have, say, a tree kind of further away from the edge of the rock and you want to make it bigger, so you tie 2 webbings together. So you tie a water knot, and under pressure, it really holds itself. But so it's a safe knot to have. But when you're done with it, it's really easy to undo. Just loosen up a bit, and it's not like it's a hassle.
When you first saw the wall, how did you feel?
I was kind of overwhelmed. I didn't think I'd ever get to the top and ring the bell. I thought I'd fail every time. But when I first did it, it was a feeling of accomplishment, and yeah, it was a good feeling.
Tell us about the team effort that goes into climbing.
Oh yeah, you got your belay team, and obviously you got yourself who's climbing the rock wall. So it's not really, you can obviously climb yourself, which is a different story, but it's really teamwork in the sense that you got to all cooperate and all really pay attention. No one can really be dozing off.
talk about climbing outside at College Rock. What's the differences between the two walls?
It's definitely different because there aren't as many like handholds and set positions that you can use going up the wall inside. And it's definitely different because like it's almost harder to like function because you're actually taking into account like the environment, and like it feels like there's more of a safety risk outside versus inside.
Climbing on the rock wall, it's fun because everything's kind of right there. You have all your holds. But when you're climbing on the College Rock, for example, it's more difficult because it's obviously it's a naturally made rock, and you have a lot of holds that aren't really like on the rock wall. It's not really a man-made, it's naturally made, so you get some small cracks, small footholds. The rock might be damp, there might be some moss, dirt, whatever you slide off, so it's different. The rock wall obviously is easier than College Rock, but they're both fun.
It's definitely more intense, and you kind of feel the adrenaline going outside.
Cut the legs off of our pants, threw our shoes into the ocean. Sit back and wait through the daylight. Sit back and wait through the daylight. Slip and slide on subway grades. These shoes are poor man's ice skates. Fall through like change in the daylight. Fall through like change in the daylight. I miss yellow lines in my road. Some color on my metro. Maybe I'll paint them in myself. Maybe I'll paint them in myself. Maybe I'll paint them in myself.
Okay, Wesley, really? Like Suresh pigs? You look at the slides, there's all Suresh.
Unplug it for today. Unplug it for today. Open hydrant, roll the windows. Call my neck to the open. And flow down Grand Street in daylight. 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 And with just half of the sunburn, new yellow light that iron. Step back and here comes the nighttime. Step back and here comes the nighttime. Daylight, we could hitchhike to Maine. I hope that someday I'll see without these frames. And in the daylight, I don't pick up my phone. 'Cause in the daylight, anywhere feels like home.
It's quite fun. You never know what you're going to expect because, like I said, one day it might rain the day before you go, so the rock's a little bit slippery. You might discover some holds you didn't even know about, and it looks a little bit different on the ground looking at what you're climbing at. It's more challenging because, like I said, the holds are naturally made and not really human made, so more difficult. And it's almost like it's just knowing that you're doing the real thing, doing rock climbing the rock.
How do you feel about the Quincy Quarry trip coming up?
I'm a little nervous just because of the same way that like I felt when we got to College Rock. Now I finally get used to that like feat to overcome, and now we're just amping it up times 10. So kind of nervous, but I think it'll be fun and cool to say that we did it.
I think it'll be fun to kind of be almost the same thing. I'm expecting a lot of it to be kind of the same, but just on a bigger scale, maybe different type of rock, and a little bit more. Just the real thing. You're not like climbing a little small boulder, you're climbing the actual, quarry type rock. So I think it'll be fun, and I got to see when I get there, see what it's going to be like.
Oh dear.
A man eats a sandwich, Wesley.
Oh.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that sandwich. It's just going.
The capacity of that milk.
Take another bite. Keep going. Oh, it's gone.
Oh, God.
That was so weird.
That was the most heinous thing I've ever seen. Like, holy.
You guys don't know how much heinous footage we actually have for this thing.
Why did I just have to see that?
Oh, God. What I took out of it is, for myself, I felt like I'm a more confident person in the sense that, you know, it's a challenge that is being presented to me that I necessarily don't step back. I can, you know, step forward and kind of do my best on the challenge I have at hand.
I never thought that I would trust myself setting up like a belay system and everything outdoors using the trees and everything. And I think it's pretty cool at like the end of the term to be able to say that I could like go out and climb on my own and do that.
I feel that this class, you know, taught me and hopefully taught the rest of the class that everyone can be a leader as long as they put their mind to it, and that it's almost like, you know, someone's having trouble on the rock wall and you can help them out, say, hey, put your foot here, put your arm there, or hand, whatever. It really teaches us how to step in as the leader and, you know, get comfortable with everybody that you work with, you know, help them complete the goal, you know, that you may have completed already. Someone struggling with it, you can step in and be a leader and say, hey, you know, you can do this and you might succeed.
Yeah, definitely. I think the way that the class was set up, like it wasn't just about climbing, it was learning all the techniques from this point on that you can just go out and climb on your own safely.
Do you plan on climbing after the class is over in 7 days?
Absolutely. I do my best to obtain the equipment necessary to climb on my own, or with somebody for that matter. But yes, I would.
I think that like because of this class, I'll probably like try it out in college maybe, not like on a team or like intensely or anything, but just for fun, recreationally.
If you could say anything to Mr. Diavanza, what would you say to him?
Thank you for everything this term, and I think that we've all like learned a lot from being in this class, not only rock climbing wise, but also I think that we've all grown as leaders because of this. So thank you for everything that you've put into this class, and know that you've done a great job with all of us.